Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Smarted by Prashanti ma'am. So in today's class also, like earlier classes, we are going to have the very interesting topic and my favorite, that is structure of heart from the class 12th biology, means second year zoology. From second year zoology, definitely you are going to get the question from this topic. Okay, so we'll start the session. Structure of heart. Okay, so structure of heart is a what is heart? Heart is a pumping organ, so means it pumps the blood to all parts of the body. That is the basic function of the heart. Okay, so about this very important organ in our body, we are going to get to know about this. Okay, so from basic structures to very depth internal structure, we are going to see in today's video. Okay, we'll start the session today. So heart is normally, heart is present at the left side, we know that. So heart is present at the left side means it's not exactly left. So the maximum portion, that is the apex portion, is towards the left. The apex portion is, apex ante enti, the edge, the tip point is towards the left. So basic points ante manam ikkada structure of heart two ways lo explain చేసుకోవాలి. ఒకటి, so first one is the external structure, another one is the internal structure. Okay, so follow the class seriously and write down all the important points. Why? Because internal structure you will be having so much notes, but here in a very simple way I am going to explain today. So first we will see the external structure. External structure itself, how the heart looks from outside. Okay, how the heart looks from outside, in the sense, so heart is mainly, it's a triangle outline and exactly the fist size of the person's body. So fist size of the person's body, that is the basic point. And at the same time, heart is going to be covered by the very important membranes. Those membranes are known as pericardial membranes. So here we have, first one is a pericardial membranes. Okay, pericardial membrane means, peri means outer, cardia means heart. Okay, సో హార్ట్ పైన ఉండే మెంబ్రెయిన్స్ కాబట్టి వీటిని పెరికార్డియల్ మెంబ్రెయిన్స్ అని అంటున్నాం. సో ఈ పెరికార్డియల్ మెంబ్రెయిన్స్ టూ పెరికార్డియల్ మెంబ్రెయిన్స్ ఆర్ ప్రెజెంట్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ టూ పెరికార్డియల్ మెంబ్రెయిన్స్ ఆర్, ఫస్ట్ వన్ fibrous pericardium, outer fibrous pericardium, and then inner serous pericardium. Okay, outer fibrous pericardium and inside it contains the inner serous pericardium. So between this inner and outer membranes there is a fluid is present. Okay, between outer and inner membranes the middle space is filled with the fluid, so obviously it will be pericardial fluid. So between these two membranes it contains the pericardial fluid. Follow the class, then only you can able to understand the next topics. So pericardial fluid, so first out pericardial membranes and then pericardial fluid. What is the function of pericardial fluid? It is going to protect the heart from the external shocks. Okay, so external shocks, definitely from daily life we used to get the external shocks from front or back, but that pressures are going to be not applicable to the heart. With the help of the fluid is pericardial fluid, it is going to protect the heart from external shocks. Okay, so you'll get VSAQ, very short answer question from this. What is the function of pericardial fluid? So pericardial fluid function protecting the heart from the external shocks. Next one, so this is not completed here, again it is continuing. See, serous pericardium. Okay, serous pericardium is again divided, again it contains the two membranes. Serous pericardium contains two membranes, one is parietal, Another one is the visceral. Okay, so parietal and visceral is attached to heart. Visceral is attached to heart. Okay, so serous pericardium is again it contains two membranes, parietal pericardium and visceral pericardium, and this visceral pericardium is attached to the heart. Next we will see the heart membranes, heart layers. Okay, heart layers. So these pericardial membranes are just they are covering the heart, but actual heart is made up of three membranes. Means inside the heart it contains the three membranes. Write down three membranes. So outer epicardium, epi means outer, and then middle myocardium and inner endocardium. So very easy to remember. First see epicardium, myocardium and endocardium. Okay, so these all made up of cardiac muscles. Okay, so it is made up of myocardium is made up of cardiac muscle. Okay, that is about the membranes of the heart, external view. And then again heart is divided into four chambers. Okay, heart is divided into four chambers. We'll see one by one. If you want to take the screenshot, take. Okay, so next we will see the internal structure of the heart. Okay, internal structure of the heart, we have to go to the chambers. Internal structure means if we dissect a heart, how it looks like, what are the structures are present inside the heart, we'll see now. So inside the heart, this is the internal structure. So see here, basic diagram I am drawing. Imagine this is the heart. Okay, so this heart is divided into four chambers. Heart is divided into four chambers. See the upper chambers are atria and lower chambers are ventricles. Upper chambers, smaller chambers, thin chambers are atria and lower thick chambers are ventricles. Okay, up and atria are blood receiving chambers. Okay, but ventricles are blood pumping chambers. Okay, atria are blood receiving chambers and ventricles are blood pumping chambers to the blood vessels. Okay, that is the basic structure. And see one more thing here, two atriums are separated by the membrane and two atriums and ventricles are separated by the membrane and two ventricles also separated by the membrane. So this membranes which divides the chambers, the membranes which divides the chambers are known as septum. The membrane which divide the chambers is known as septum. Based on its location అంటే అది ఉండే ప్లేస్ని బట్టి దానికి ఒక్కొక్క నేమ్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. సో septum itself, if it is present between two atriums మధ్యలో ఉంటే దాన్ని interatrial septum. So it is known as interatrial septum. Why? Because it is present in between the atriums. If it is present in between the ventricles, automatically see I am writing here interatrial septum. Interatrial septum means which divides two atriums, and then ventricles septum, interventricular septum, and then so atriums and ventricles are separated by interauriculoventricular septum. Interauriculoventricular septum. Clear? What is septum? The membrane which separates the chambers. So if it is separating two atriums, definitely it will be interatrial septum. If it is separating two ventricles, interventricular septum. If it is separating two right side atrium and ventricular, definitely that will be right interatrioventricular septum. Left interatrioventricular septum. Okay, very simple. Based on its location, we are giving the name. And then how the blood flows from one chamber to another chamber. Okay, how the blood flows from one chamber to another chamber. There are valves. Okay, here we have another important point, that is valves. Valves means apertures. It means aperture means opening. Aperture ante enti? It's an opening through which blood is going to be enters from atriums to ventricles. If it right side, it contains the tricuspid valve. Okay, so right side, write down this, very very important. Right atrium to ventricle, it contains the tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Valve means aperture. Aperture means opening. It's a pore, hole లాంటి స్ట్రక్చర్ అనమాట. అది ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. ఓపెన్ అయినప్పుడు ఏట్రియం నుంచి వెంట్రికల్లోకి బ్లడ్ ఎంటర్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ దెన్ లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ it is bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve, so it is also known as mitral valve. Very simple. See here, septums already we discussed. Second one is valves. Valves means small aperture through which blood is going to be enter from upper chambers to lower chambers, and at the same time from ventricles to blood vessels. From ventricles to blood vessels also there are valves. Those valves are known as semilunar valves. Semilunar valves are present in the blood vessels. Note down this point. So the blood vessels are contains the semilunar valves, which is responsible to pump the blood to the different types of blood vessels. Means blood vessels bunch of network is going to receive the blood from the, so the main branches of the blood vessel, that is pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta. So now we'll see the structure of atriums and ventricles. So see, when atriums already explained, they are the smallest chambers and thin chambers. So these atriums are going to receive the blood from the different blood vessels, like so right atrium, listen carefully. Right atrium receiving the blood from the inferior vena cavas and superior vena cavas. Inferior vena cavas means it collects the lower parts of the body. Blood is going to be collected from the lower parts of the body, like legs. Okay, legs, even the kidneys, the lower parts of the body, whatever the lower parts of the body, it is going to be collected. That means the deoxygenated blood is going to be collected with the inferior vena cava. Then superior vena cava means it collects the upper parts of blood from the upper parts of the body, like forelimbs, head and thoracic part, is going to send the blood towards the heart with the help of the blood vessel is superior upper part, and then inferior lower part. Very simple. In the terms only we have the meaning. Superior means it is going to collect the upper parts of blood from the upper parts of the body, and then inferior, it collects the lower parts of the body. So see, these are the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Both are going to opens into the right atrium. And the valve is known as, the valve is regulated or guarded into the aperture of the right atrium is known as valve of Thebesius. Write down this point. Valve of Thebesius is the opening into the right atrium. Means right superior vena cava and inferior vena cava both are opens into the right atrium. Okay, then so from the right atrium it enters into the right ventricle. And what about the left atrium? Left atrium is going to enters into the left atrium, is going to get the blood. Which blood? Oxygenated blood from the lungs, from both right and left lungs, the pulmonary veins. So what are the blood vessels here? Pulmonary means lungs, so which is connected to the lungs. That lungs sending the oxygenated blood with the help of this pulmonary veins. See here, these are the pulmonary veins. Here also we have the pulmonary veins, and this pulmonary veins both are opens into the left atrium. Okay, both opens into the left atrium, and so at a time the blood is going to send from atriums to ventricles. Okay, now we'll see the ventricle structures. Ventricles are the largest chambers, so I'm writing one by one points. Take the screenshot, then we'll go to the ventricles. So ventricles are the largest chambers. Okay, large chambers, thick chambers. Okay, large and thick chambers, and here the ventricles are going to have the blood vessels or pulmonary aorta and systemic aorta that we'll see in the aortic arches. But ventricles are going to receive the fibers. See, the ventricles, it contains the specialized structures. These muscles are very thick. Why? Because it has to pump the blood to all parts of the body. That's why they are very thick. So we'll get the question, why ventriculars are more thicker than the atriums? Why? Because it has to pump the blood to all parts of the body. Next, so we have the nodal tissues. Nodal tissues are very important. Why it is important? Why? Because without this nodal tissue there is no functioning of the heart. That's why nodal tissues are very important. So it is a very specialized muscular tissues. Nodal tissues are specialized muscular tissues, specialized muscular tissues. So this nodal tissues are two types. So one is SAN, another one is the AVN. SAN means sinoatrial nodal tissue, and then this is atrioventricular nodal tissue. Atrioventricular nodal tissue, and these tissues are responsible for the production of the action potentials. Action potentials are going to be produced by the nodal tissues. Action potentials means electrical impulses, just like a motor. How the motor is important to pull the blood from the ground, in the same way. So here this is electrical impulse is very important for the contraction and the relaxation of the heart. That's why, so this nodal tissue is producing that action potential. So what is producing? First, sinoatrial node is producing. Sinoatrial node is present at the posterior part of the right atrium. See here, this is the posterior part of the right atrium, sinoatrial node. Okay, sinoatrial node. So it is producing the action potential. From there it is going to pass this action potential towards the AVN. Where is AVN? It just present at the inferior to the right atrium, and that too it is just exactly at the junction of the atriums and ventricles. At the junction of the atriums and ventricles, in the middle, it is exactly in the middle of atriums and ventricles. From there, AVN, it is connected with the bunch of fibers. Bunch of fibers is known as bundle of His. So very important structure is bundle of His. So this nodal fibers are going to be connected with the AVN. Okay, AVN have this bundle of His, and this bundle of His going to be divided into branches. That branches are going to distribute throughout the ventricular part. So throughout this ventricular part is going to have this thin branches of bundle of His. So after that, so inside, how the impulse is going to be transmitted? Inside, see here, it contains the tubular structures. These tubular structures means just like columns. So it is just like the column like structures. That's why it is columnae corneae. The structures are known as columnae corneae. The posterior part of the ventricle, it contains the column like tubes. That column like tubes are known as columnae corneae. See here this structure. So here I did not mention, right? So these tubes, so this columns is known as columnae corneae. Columnae corneae. So columnae corneae, again it is having the cone shaped structures. See, I am drawing here inside only the internal part, just like this. So it contains the column like structures. Again this column like structures, it contains the cone shaped structures. See, these are columnae corneae, and this cone shaped structures. They are columned and they are cone shaped structures. So these cone shaped structures are known as papillary muscles. Cone shaped structures are known as papillary muscles. These papillary muscles are connected with the, so these papillary muscles are connected with the Purkinje fibers. So these Purkinje fibers also known as heartstrings. Purkinje fibers also known as heartstrings. So with the help of these heartstrings, the mechanism is going to start. So Purkinje fibers, very very important. So that is all about the internal structure of the ventricles. And then nodal tissues. Now we'll see the last one is aortic arches. So aortic arches are very very important. So aortic arches means there are two aortic arches. Aortic arches. So two aortas, first one is pulmonary and the second one is systemic. So pulmonary, which is arised from the right ventricle, and here systemic is from the left ventricle. And systemic again is divided into branches, is towards the arteries. From arteries to it is going to enters into the arterioles. So this is the network of blood vessels. And even right veins is going to be enters into the lungs. So it contains deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated means it contains the carbon dioxide, and here systemic blood vessels which contains the oxygen, and this oxygenated blood is distributed to all parts of the body. So that is all about the structure of heart. I hope you all understand the lesson, and if you like the session, please do like, share and subscribe the channel, and share with your friends if you really understand this topic. And if you have any complaints or suggestions or any topic you want explanation from me, please comment in the comment section. And if you comment means if you give your feedback, so that definitely I am going to get more motivation. So from my side I will post the excellent explanation videos. Okay, so thanks for watching. So I'll be back with the another session from the circulation.